This episode is presented in partnership with Mister. Listen, if you can prep for a set, you can prep for your health too. Mister is making it easy with free access to Prep and DoxyPep. Yep, free. No cost, just delivered to you right at your door. Go to Mister.com and get what you need to stay ready.
I was a stripper for 10 years.
What? Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that. Wait, you ever told me that? I don't think you ever told me that.
And they're like, there's a guy named Drake, and he's gonna play this show, and he's kind of blowing up all over like colleges. He brought Nicki and Birdman and Tyga or something like that. And I just remember the Jamaicans going, that's a white girl, that's a white girl, that's a white girl. And I was like, yo, what up? And then he's like, I don't think a white girl's ever played in the grill before. So I played in the club and everyone booed me. And they were like, boo! And it was like 3,000 people booing at me. Instead of just telling you like a reasonable explanation or something, like a guy will like, over explain something to a woman
As if you don't know what you're doing.
As if you don't know what you're doing. And you're like, oh, thank you. I didn't know how. Like they'll be like, are you okay setting up? And I was like, motherfucker, I can set up my own shit. Oh my God, I'm so busy. And then when I finally get to like stop and then just like DJ, I'm like, like I feel like the weight's lifted and I can just be free.
You call her Stephanie, I call her Heffany. I don't open doors for her. I just want the neck.
All right, welcome to Sound Check with your boy Brandon Anthony, where the beats are deep, the stories are real, and the sound is always front and center. Today's guest is a powerhouse behind the decks, a Cleveland-born, LA-based DJ known for her open format style and undeniable presence. With roots in jungle and hip-hop, her sound blends bounce, dancehall, ballet funk, and more. From legendary residencies at the Novo to stages with Lauryn Hill and Kendrick Lamar. She's done it all while breaking barriers in a male-dominated industry. Please welcome to the show one of my favorite DJs again, DJ Ivy. What's up, sis?
Thank you so much. What an incredible intro.
Oh, I know. You know we had all this on you,
No,
right?
I didn't know you had all this info on me and you put that together in such a like cherry topping way. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You deserve it all. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you. Yes, for sure. Okay, so what's bringing you joy now? Is it musically or something else otherwise?
So many things bring me joy in this like crazy time right now. And I would say community is like the most important thing. I think when we gather together and like group together and dance and listen to music together, that it literally just fills my soul. I've been roller skating, got into roller skating a few years ago, and I started voguing in like 2018. So the Vogue community brings me joy, but like literally just whenever I'm starting to get down, and even if I go to work and I'm going to play a set at one of your parties or somebody else's, or even just like at Lavo or a restaurant or something, and I'm like just playing something and the connection between me and one person, and it brings them joy and it gives me joy. So just, I think just the music in general, it's just like the international language that we all speak. And I think about it all the time when I just feel it. It just gives me life.
Nice, nice. Was there ever a moment during a set or behind the set where you felt fully like in your element?
I would say I've been in like in the WeHo scene for a really long time and in like the gay scene and everything. And I would say one thing that really made me feel like it's in my element, like being real with you, is like DJing for your crowds and like your parties, because I finally got to just like be myself and be understood. Because sometimes like I feel like I know things and then people are like, whoa, how did you know that? And then it's like I would play the things that like you, me, Monty, everybody that we're feeling, and they're like, yep, that's my shit. And so we have these connections. And I think it's like just being around like the gay scene, and then being around like people of different backgrounds and things like that, and then having roots in like hip hop and R&B and dance hall and like 90s. 90s. I was born in 82, so like 90s and 2000s, and just being able to like translate that, and then kind of linking with you where you're from New Orleans and bounce really spoke to me like early on when I heard it for the first time. I was like, what the fuck is this? And
you be playing nice bounce
yes,
sets.
thank you. And like people are like, oh, my one friend who's a DJ Cutso, he's always like the bounce queen. I'm like, I'm not the bounce queen, but I think in your world I am because no one else is playing it.
Right.
And then I think like dancehall really speaks to me. So like I got to play in Jamaica. That was a really wonderful experience for me. I went on vacation to Negril and I connected with this DJ. Shout out to DJ Slim, but he was a local and we were at this place called Rock Bar and he was DJing and I just connected with him and he's like, you're a DJ? He was like, yo, come to the Jungle, which is like this epic Wednesday night, ladies night party. And it was a huge club in Jamaica, in Negril. He's like, come play. And he literally like, he's like, let me give you just some of the like local current shit right now.
Right.
And then go nuts with whatever you want to do. And he let me play and I played this like 2-hour set. And I just remember the Jamaicans going, that's a white girl. That's a white girl. That's a white girl. And I was like, yo, what up? And then he's like, I don't think a white girl's ever played in the grill before. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of the coolest thing.
That's a good feeling though.
Yeah.
That's a really good feeling.
I would say like things like that where you have those moments and then you're like, wow, this just makes sense. So
you always seem to amaze me. It was 2 times you amazed me, and both of those times was one bounce and the other one was reggae and dancehall. When I was telling you, when I had ideas saying, hey, I want to play like this, I want to have like this reggae night, right? And he was like, I can do that. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, that's my lane. And I was like, okay, like let me try. And then because I trust you, DJs like you that's been doing it for so long, and I've worked with in the past. So I'm like, well, I'm sure if she couldn't do it, she wouldn't sit here and tell me, right? She'd just suggest somebody. But then when you did your set, I was like, wait a minute now. Like, I mean, the dance hall, the reggae, the Emma piano, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. Like, it was just like, I was like, okay, she could kill it. And even bounce too. You did your bounce set, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see that is like a genre of music that you actually enjoy doing it because you can see the response from people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Not only that, I mean, it's like when I really get to like speak the language and people can hear it, it makes me feel validated because if I could sit all day long and play just reggae and dancehall, I mean, I'd probably get like tired of playing the same thing over and over again. But if I could constantly play like reggae and dancehall, lovers rock, like soca, like up tempo, shit like that.
Yes.
And then now we have amapiano and like Afrobeat in like and Afrobeats and Afrobeat in like popular music. It all blends together, and I've been doing a lot of that, like especially at Tao. And when I get to play it, even the manager's like, "Yo, just go in." And then I have like Jamaicans and African people coming up and being like, "What? Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, I'm just playing what I want to play right now. And I'm being allowed to do that.
Right.
But sometimes if I go do that somewhere else, people are like, can you change it up? You know? So being able to like just do that and have people like look at you and be like, whoa, I see you is so validating.
Yes.
And it makes me feel validated as an artist, as a creative, and just like being authentic.
Right.
Because I've been afraid to be authentic, especially maybe before 10 years ago, because now I'm approaching like 22, 23 years as a DJ. And I feel like I always just wanted to like, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? And now I like color outside the lines a little bit. And I'm like, just let me do this thing. I can talk to them.
Right. I have a question that wasn't planned, but I know that you are also a fashion designer, correct? Which one do you love more? Is it the fashion or is it the DJing? 22 years is a very long time.
Totally. So I've done them both exactly like the same amount of time.
Okay.
I started learning how to DJ when I went to fashion school, and I own my own business with my business partner, and we have this amazing, company where we get to make things for people. But I feel like DJing is the true artistry where I get to be like fully creative, because even when I design for other people, if I'm not designing for myself and designing for a client, it's within restrictions. Like, this is what I want and this is how I want it. And then you're just trying to like please the client. And it still translates in DJing the same way. But when you get to just be like, I don't know, throw a party or do this thing and make people dance, I get to really feel free. So I'm like really like, I was just talking to your homies outside, and we were talking about how busy things were, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so busy. And then when I finally get to like stop and then just like DJ, I'm like, like I feel like the weight's lifted and I can just be free.
Right.
And so, to answer your question, I don't love one more than the other. I think I've been a fashion designer and stopped DJing for a minute, and I DJ'd only and I stopped doing fashion, and I felt like not whole.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both of them kind of play one into the other, and I get to be creative and just do my thing.
Nice.
And so I like both.
So 22 years, we're going to take it back to your roots. What drew you to music in the first place, and how did those early raves at 15 shape your taste?
So it's really interesting to stop and think about this because I have the most backwards story. I'm from Cleveland. Yeah,
okay.
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, which we know like Bone Thugs, and we know that there's a prominent rap scene in Cleveland. And, I was like a young adolescent. I was trying to figure myself out and also being like rebellious. So I was getting into like grunge, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, whatever, like skateboarding culture and things like that, and dyeing my hair crazy colors. And I was like trying to find myself, and I always knew popular music. I always knew like Michael Jackson and Prince and Madonna and stuff like that. Always loved those types of artists. But I just was trying to find myself. And I remember I was really rebellious, and my friend took me to a rave when I was like 15 years old, and she made me take ecstasy. And she was like, you're just going to have the best time ever. And I remember hearing like Daft Punk's album, like the first album, and just like being like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then getting into like jungle and drum and bass. And I was like, what is this? And what is this house music and all these sounds? And oh my God, it's amazing. And I ended up in these like jungle and drum and bass rooms where it would just be like really fast paced, right? But everything is like a remix. Everything has the amen break on it, and then it's just sounds the same, but then it's like it would be like a Jay-Z remix or something like that. Right. So then we get into like the Napster era, and I started like thinking about these songs, or I'd get the mixtape from the rave, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I'd look up the lyrics, and then I'd find like Jay-Z feeling it or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Because the only rap I knew of was like a little harder, like gangster rap. And at that time, I didn't understand or appreciate that, which of course I love now. But like at that time, I didn't understand it. So I just really got into all this other music and would find it backwards. So I found hip hop from jungle and drum and bass from like my favorite DJs playing these like sick edits. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this remix? Oh my God. And then I'd like both. And I still like both. So that was my introduction. And I remember I watched DJs from when I was like 15 years old until I was 21, which is when I started. But I would just like religiously like watch the DJ or like pay attention. I was like, I could do
For
that,
6
but
years?
I'm scared. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I would just watch in the booth or like stand behind or be like, I want to try that, but like terrified. So I'm not going to try that. And also I'm a woman. I don't see that many women doing that. Right. Or I was a young girl at that time. And I remember I was like, I want to be like a jungle DJ. Maybe that's what I want to do, right? And then I started talking about it. And then I worked at 555 Soul in the early 2000s. And so this was like 2003. And my friend DJ Frog put me on. I remember we had in-store DJs at the 555 Soul store. And there was a bunch of, locals that would play there. And I'd talk to him and he was like, you should try it. Like, why not? And then the one day he asked me to play a set with him. And I believe it was my birthday. I believe it was like my 20th. So I think it was 2002. And he was like, just come play with me and go buy some records, go to like Virgin or go wherever, buy a few records and come and you can play with me. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up buying like Khalees Milkshake, like whatever that was like hot, like a Neptune's, whatever, because it's like also what I was hearing in New York in 2002. And I was like, I felt safer with that. And I knew he played hip hop. And then I like played a few records with him and I was like, whoa, like maybe this is kind of my thing. And also there's not like a lot of women DJs in the hip hop scene. And it just kind of like, it all kind of lended itself, but the idea was behind like rave culture. And and then I was like, I don't even know how to get in here. And my friend is literally asking me right now, play some records with me, but we play like mainstream stuff. And so that's kind of how it like full circled back to.
Do you DJs at rave? Do you DJ at raves?
I haven't in a while,
Okay.
but I have many times.
Okay.
And I've been getting into like a few after hours parties recently.
Really?
Because some of my friends, I saw.
I don't know why someone would see you at after hours. I feel like at 2 a.m. you're like, you know what? I am ready to go home.
You see me in like my most professional self.
Okay.
But I've partied a day or two.
Okay.
It's funny, you could catch me this last Friday. I went to Fried Plantains and I saw Shay Ellis now. She was Sugar Shay. And I saw her play and DJ Sluggo and some of my homies. And I was like, I need to come out here more often. This is great. And I love the music because like I play a lot of like ghetto house, booty house, juke, footwork, stuff like that. Cause that's part of my rave influence. But I played a rave coincidentally in Cleveland. I want to say like 10 or 12 years ago. And one of the DJs that was like a big jungle and drum and bass influence of mine, Phantom 45, I got to actually like play with him and I got to open for him in the back. And I was like, yo, this is kind of epic right now. So yes, I've played some raves.
Being that you started in New York, is there any type of New York influence that you bring to LA or that you feel like that is derived from LA? I mean, from New York?
Absolutely. I would say as a hip hop DJ, I'm more New York influenced than I am LA influenced. Now, shout out to the West Coast because from living here, I really started to get into my G-Funk era and understanding like the influence of like Parliament and George Clinton and King T and Ice-T and NWA and Tupac and everything. That's amazing. But if I like would start off with like a hip hop set, I always go very East Coast. Like I'm always playing like Tribe Called Quest, Mobb Deep, Mary J. Blige, Biggie, all that stuff. And so I would just say from the influences of starting to DJ, all the hip hop records that I heard were like played on heavy rotation on the East Coast. So that's what I started with. And I would say like most times when I DJ a hip hop set, a lot of people will come up to me and be like, are you from New York? Or like, you have a heavy New York influence.
Right.
So
was there a moment when you realized you weren't just breaking in, but you were actually owning your own lane?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think that started with my residency at the Novo.
Okay.
So it was called Club Nokia at the time. And I think my first event there was for Oscar De La Hoya's fight night. He had like a really big, like huge boxing thing that people used to come to. And my manager at the time, this girl Audra, was going to the Polestar Awards, which is like, it's an annual award show that's like, it gives awards to venues for like, you get a Polestar Award for like the coolest theater, like the Mayan Theater or something like that. So she met all the people there, all the managers, and she was like, oh, I manage this DJ. I think she'd be perfect to like play at some of these shows. And they brought me in. And I was such an asset to them that they realized that they could just put me into like anything and I'd own it. So it's like, oh, you're going to open for Santi Gold. And I was like, okay. And it was me and Charlie XCX in like early 2000s. And she was nobody at that time, which shout out to Charlie XCX. Yeah. I got to play with her a couple times. I was like, that girl's going to blow up. And then like Lauryn Hill, it was like, you're going to open for Miss Lauryn Hill and it's just me. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, you and Mary J. Blige are going to do this like American Express show or something for American Express members. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, there's a guy named Drake and he's going to play this show and he's kind of blowing up all over like colleges. He did his first college tour where he did all those shows before he ever did big venues. And it was Mike Posner who opened. And then he brought Nicki. He brought Nicki and Birdman and like Tyga or something like that. And he was
on stage?
Like, yeah, like they performed. So I opened, Mike Posner went on, and the crowd was going crazy over me.
That's epic.
And I was like, I remember I was so nervous. I was taking shots, and then I went and I read blogs later, and people were like, oh, she was killing it, but then I saw her take like a third shot, and then she started getting a little sloppy. And I was like, damn. And then I was like, you know what? If you're not getting people like hating on you, you're doing something wrong. So I was just like, I'm not going to take that personally. But then I decided to not take shots on stage anymore because I was like, I don't want people to like be in my business and see, because they're always going to criticize me as a woman, especially like she's not good enough or she's whatever. She only got there because she's this. So I was just like, I just want to kill them with my skill, right? So having that show was incredible. And then I got to open for like 50 Cent.
You was in
The
there.
Game. I think it was The Game. And I didn't know they had beef. And I went to play in the club. And I played, and I learned quickly to check out rap beef before you play a hip hop show ever, because you got to know what's going on. So I played in the club and everyone booed me. And they were like, boo! And it was like 3,000 people booing at me. And I remember I froze and I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And then there's this like Hollow Boys edit that's like show me love in the club, and it's like get your damn hands up, and then it's like homeboy show me love up in the club, and it's like this diss kind of track, and I played that, and everyone was like, yeah, and I was like,
you redeemed yourself.
I redeemed myself, so I was like, you can redeem yourself just as fast as you can get hated on. So I was like, I gotta hold my ground. So after that, I got to open for Wu-Tang. And I remember I was like, okay, this is kind of epic. So it's like DJ Ivy, Killa Bees, Wu-Tang. And I was like, okay. So I came out and I wore like a varsity jacket. I'm like, I don't want to be like, hey, I'm like a pretty girl and like check me out. I was like, no. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be my street. Like, you're going to see me as a DJ. And I have some really crazy videos, which are really fun. And then after Killa Bees went on, the crowd started shouting, Ivy, Ivy, Ivy. And then I came back out and I was like, this is epic.
Yes.
So like, and it's funny, my friend Aaron caught footage of it and then he erased over it later accidentally, and we were so bummed. This is like before we had camera phones. This is like 2011 or something. So
there should be a documentary you playing for all these greats. I know, you have some amazing.
Fun. So having like those moments, I would say, to answer your question in a long-winded form, just like having those moments, I was like, oh, if I just like be me and do what I know and don't worry about what the crowd is going to say and just make them have fun, I can really be myself.
Right.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
You've held your own in every kind of space, from underground to the major stages. What's something people still get wrong about what it actually takes to stand out, survive, and thrive as a woman behind the DJ turntable?
I would say this goes back to like paying dues, like the basics of DJing. Like you had to pay dues in order to be able to DJ when I started DJing. Otherwise people would be like, excuse me, what are you doing? You couldn't just like learn how to DJ on YouTube and then go out and play a show, which you can now. You know, shout out to like social media and platforms for giving people that opportunity. But I would say like paying real dues was like, I had to like work super hard to be able to open for an artist like Drake, and it's not just like a joke, or like open for Wu-Tang and have a skill where I had to show my skills to be like, I can hang with the boys and I can do the same thing they can. I just you might also think I'm pretty, or you might want to fuck me, and I'm sorry, I can't help that. But let me also show you
and
my
you're not
skills.
Putting yourself out there to think that they could fuck you, right?
I just was like, excuse me, I'm gonna do this thing and whatever. Like I always wanted to just hang with the guys and be treated as the same as my male counterparts, because I worked my ass off to get here. Like I learned how to DJ. I practiced. I continue to practice every time I DJ. I think about it. I take constructive criticism. I learn technical skills. I can scratch. I can mix. I can do all these things that a lot of people don't have those fundamentals. And I think it's really important to be able to, you know, be one of the original female DJs that can be recognized and also go, yeah, I'm a fucking OG, because how many female DJs do I know that have also been DJing 22 years?
Right.
A few.
Just a
Not
few.
that many.
Right.
I mean, probably 10 or less, you know?
You've balanced creative freedom with some big name residencies. How do you stay rooted in your sound while adapting to different stages and crowds?
That's a really good question. I think before I didn't really know how to do that, but I would say COVID really helped me. Like during the pandemic, I got to get back into my like record collection.
Okay.
And I started a Twitch channel.
You do vinyl too.
Yes, I play vinyl too. That's how I started.
Yes.
And I do play some vinyl gigs out here too. I would say like going back and like getting in touch with my roots and then going, oh, this is the thing that I loved, like not forgetting that. And I kind of put it on a shelf, I would say, for a while, where I was like, people don't want to hear this, or I don't really know how to work this in, or I don't want to take the risk. And now it's kind of like this 3 for you, 1 for me sort of thing, where it's like I can play these like bangers and like bookend it with like something that I want to hear in the middle, but it has to make sense. You can't just throw a wild card and people are like, what the fuck is that? So it has to like make sense through a beat, the same beat, wordplay, like, or like someone says the same word and then you can introduce that word, or like it's a sample of something, and kind of like playing it that way. And then I can be like, oh, here's the shit that I know, and then bookend it again with another song that they're like, oh, I love this song.
Right.
So you kind of just do this like, I'm going to play some for you, I'll play one for me. And then now I start to weave it in. And I feel like I used to do a lot of sets where if it got transitional, it's like, here, I'm playing the hip hop set, and I'm playing the funk set, and I'm playing the house set. And it still would transition in a way that made sense. But now I'm kind of trying to weave it in more and make it just give you like a journey.
Was there a difficulty with being a woman DJ in a male-dominated industry, or being a DJ in a hip-hop industry where it's, you know, predominantly Black? Which one do you find more of a struggle with?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say
because you've owned some crazy hip hop spaces.
Yes. And because, you know, people might have judged a book by its cover, or judged an exterior. The second that I like start talking with my hands, they're like, oh, how the fuck do you know this? I should know that, right. And then they're like, oh, she's not playing. And so I'd say for me, the latter of your questions is easier because it's me being authentic. Right. I would say in the male-dominated industry, that's been more of a struggle because you get mansplained, or you get someone to tell you. A mansplain. Okay. So like, hey, this is how we do things here. Or like you get like, you're going to do something, and like, instead of just telling you like a reasonable explanation or something, like a guy will over explain something to a woman
as if you don't know what
you're doing. And you're like, oh, thank you, I didn't know how. Like they'll be like, are you okay setting up? And I was like, motherfucker, I can set up my own shit, you know. But there's a lot of women DJs, no shade, but you should learn how to set up your shit. I'm talking to the camera right now. You should learn how to set up your shit. You should learn technical like troubleshooting and all that. Not have someone like do it for you where you don't know how to do it. It's cool if you have someone do it for you, but also know how to do it. I think it's more badass if you do it yourself because you're kind of like, yeah, I'm here and I'm doing my thing. But if you're so like, you know, popular and cool, you don't have to touch your own shit. That's fine. But anyways.
You heard that first from the icon. All right, great. So we're going to switch things up a little bit and play a fun game now called Drop It or Keep It. I'm going to mention two things or one thing, and you're going to let me know if we should drop it or keep it.
As a culture?
As a culture.
Okay,
Let's do it.
I like that.
Song requests from the crowd. Drop it or keep it.
I have a mixed feeling about that because it depends on the crowd.
Okay.
I would say drop it in most instances and
when
let
should
people
you drop it?
Drop it at a place where someone's asking for something like, can I have like the hottest Megan Thee Stallion song that you're already going to play in like an hour?
Okay.
But keep it if you're in a cool venue and someone's going to put you onto something that you didn't know about.
Or drop it like if you're at a hip hop club and someone says, hey, can you play Madonna?
Exactly.
Like, can you read the room?
Drop it if you're like, drop it if you can't figure out what the DJ's doing and what you're asking for fits into what they're doing. And if what you're asking for is so unique or special, otherwise like go listen to it in your car yourself, right? After. But keep it if you're like, hey, I noticed you were playing all this dance hall, but maybe you didn't know about this artist.
Right.
And someone did that to me recently at Tao, and I was like, if I didn't get that request, I wouldn't know about it. So
nice. Okay. What about DJs in full glam?
I mean, where are we DJing at? Are we DJing at the Diamond full glam, or are we DJing like a red carpet event?
So it depends on where the location is. Okay, yeah. I guess because if you had it on a red carpet, then
I
you
think
would
we
want to
could
glam
keep it if we're gonna be considered a performer or an artist, just like the rest of them. Read the room. If you're the only glam one and you're playing like a house party, you might look a little weird. Right. But if you're getting paid a lot of money to be that person, then keep it. If you're Diana Ross,
put on.
So yeah.
Branded DJ drops.
I love branded deep. Keep it.
Keep it.
Yes.
Curating your own flyer.
Oh, I love it. I do that all the time.
You do all the time?
Yes.
Okay. Playing a track twice in the same set.
Ooh, we have this conversation all the time.
We do.
You know that we have the same conversation
Yes,
all the time. And my opinion on that is to drop it because there's so many songs in your library and so many other things. Like, know the time to play it. So if you played the hottest song at like 9 o'clock and no one heard it, sure, you could play it again if you need to. But also, if you do better crowd control, you wouldn't play that earlier and play it when you want to play it.
Right.
So play it once is my opinion.
Okay. Letting a song ride out with no blend.
Oh, all the way to like fading out as a DJ?
Yeah.
Drop it. Learn how to DJ.
Okay. All right, great. So that was it. That was easy.
That's
Right?
cute. I like it.
So let's slow it down a bit. What do you hope people feel after a nasty DJ Ivy set?
Ooh. I hope I left them with shock value, like a little surprise, nostalgia maybe. They'll always get some type of nostalgia like, oh, I forgot about this song. Or like, I didn't even think about this. Or like a bounce version of something that they love, you know, like an Anita Baker moment or something. Knowing that I have more soul than you think I do. And also like not judging me by how I look, but just being like, damn, that chick's tight.
Right.
So that's what I hope someone leaves with, a nasty DJ Ivy
I love
set.
it. I love that. When you're behind the booth, how much do you think about who you're playing for and how do you help make those people feel seen?
100% of the time, all the
Yes.
time. I would say if you're in a space where, let's say there's, you know, let's say it's even at chapel and there's 20 people or less in the beginning of the night and you're paying attention to the crowd. So you're trying different things. You're seeing the dancers, but you have to pay attention to the dancers. You have to pay attention to the manager. You have to pay attention to you if you're there. Make sure the promoter or the host is like happy. But then this one person you're connecting with or this group, and they're like, oh, that you go, oh, okay, what I'm doing is what they want to hear.
Right.
But then in another aspect, like someone else might be like, change the song. And you're like, cool. These people are the only people dancing right now. So how do we make this work for everyone? And maybe it's not that thing, but you're just reading the crowd. I think a crowd control is like a DJ skill that not every DJ has.
I agree with that.
And you really have to pay attention. And if I can vibe with like one person, especially if it's at like a restaurant or something and everyone is just eating. And then I get that one person that's like, I'm like, oh, the other day I said, we're locked in. And then I just started playing for them. But then they see how much fun you're having with another person. And then other people want to have that. And I think it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah. When I noticed you said something about like dancers. So when you DJ, are you actually paying attention to the actual dancers as well?
Yeah, the go-go dancers.
Yes.
I want them to have a moment.
Okay.
They always come up to me, especially at chapel, and they'll be like, oh,
Yes,
like,
they do.
you killed that. Like, what the fuck? Or if I look and they're like bored or something, I'm like, oh, okay, what can I switch it up? Or like, if you can't find a groove, because sometimes people are just like stale, you got to keep trying different things, and then you catch a groove and someone's moving, and then all of a sudden
Everybody's
moving.
there. And I was wanting to say something when you answered the last question that I've noticed that when you've opened at the chapel, for example, you do have a way of captivating the few people that are there, and they stay there, and then it grows and it grows and grows, and they never really want to leave the dance floor because you are engaged in the music that they're feeling. You know what I'm saying? And you do that great. That's why I love when you open.
Thank you.
Because you keep people there.
I actually prefer that set there because you and I have talked about this before, and you have to play when you're playing the headlining set, you have to play certain things.
Right.
And of course we love Ratchet Hour. That's fun as fuck. And I can get crazy with it.
Right.
But I think having the opening set and being able to get it cracking so that when the DJ comes on after you already have like a huge dance floor.
Right.
That's hard.
It is. And you're able to kind of like see what works and what doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to the closing set, you would have to play songs that you probably wouldn't want to play at that moment.
Exactly.
So do you prefer an opening set or a closing set?
I like both. It depends on the venue.
Okay.
I would say at
right,
Prime, just because at Chapel, I've played at Chapel since it was called Here Lounge, which is like way old school.
Yes.
I'm like, I've told people, I'm like, I think I'm part of the wallpaper here or something. Like I'm literally like a fixture in this venue. And I used to play this legendary like lesbian party called Truck Stop.
Oh yeah.
And the Truck Stop was like Pussycat Dolls, Danity Kane, Britney, like all that. But then they loved hip hop too. So you'd weave that in. And what I kept from that is the WeHo aspect of like the people that are coming that aren't your crowd. They want to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, oh, here, let me snake charm you in here. And then they're like, what the fuck is this? This is great. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm going to switch it up and play more, up tempo or like ratchet or something like that. But they're already like they're like locked in for the experience because you already kind of like called them. And
you already know the essence of that. You can change the name so many times, right? If it's still a nightclub, you're still going to attract some of the same people there unless you change it to like a straight club or something. It's completely opposite.
They're always going to come.
What part of the DJ Ivy story still feels under-celebrated or untold? We just got real deep with that one, right?
You're getting like Oprah on me now. Let's see. If you want to get real,
let's do it.
I was a stripper for 10 years.
What? Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that. Wait, you ever told me that?
I don't know if I did.
Told me that. Yeah.
I don't know if I did.
Wow.
So I used to work at the Body Shop in Hollywood, which is like the legendary club.
While you were in the 22 years of you DJing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, so there's a third part of my trilogy, which is dancer, designer, DJ, dancer.
Okay.
So I would say that part, I've talked about it on 2 interviews now over my career where people have gotten deep with me and they've pulled it out and then we talked about it and they're like, oh, excuse me?
Yeah.
So I've been writing a book about it since 2004 because I moved to LA then and I didn't have any friends. And so I'd go, I didn't know anybody, so I'd go dance and then I'd come home and I'd write. And then I started making friends and then I started DJing at Ledoux. So I was a resident at Ledoux and I'd dance at the Body Shop and then everything was commingled. So I would see people at the strip club or see them at the nightclub, or then I'd go to work and then, be a fashion designer and put on my different hats. So I would say being a dancer was a big part of my life and a big part of my influence. And it's under-celebrated or discussed and undervalued because I only talk about it when it's authentic or it just comes out naturally it is right now. Cause I'm like, Right. Well, I think it's really important to understand when you have theme music and you come out. And when I was a dancer, my biggest form of expression before I was a DJ in big clubs was to play songs that I loved. And I would come out to those songs. For example, I used to dance to Bom Bom's Sister Nancy. That was my shit. And then I could bounce my ass to the beat. And so I'd come out and people would be like, oh, damn. Okay. And I really listened to dancehall and reggae. Yeah. And that was a huge influence for me being a dancer.
As a dancer?
Yes.
That is awesome. Do you have any footage of that that would be in your documentary?
Yes, I have some. I have some things I can share with you.
That would be awesome to watch.
I have some visuals.
Because I can't see that.
And so I used to pick my music and make my CDs, and you'd give the DJ your CD and be play track number 10.
So you played your own mix. You made your own mix to dance with.
Well, it's not mixes, but I got to play my own music, and that was me being on a stage playing what I wanted to hear and getting to be expressive, right?
Yeah.
And still making money. And I would dance to Pharrell, the Neptunes, dance hall reggae, all that stuff, and then down tempo, up tempo, and then just anything that I was feeling. If a new track came out, that was my version of DJing that song on a Friday night, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't big enough as a DJ yet to do that. So sure, I'm playing dive bars, I'm playing these bars, I'm opening for people, whatever, but I didn't really get to play the music that I wanted to play like I get to now. But when I was a dancer, I could be play track 10. And then I could come out and that was me being like...
You were creating vibes before you were even DJing, because most times you kind of know the standard club stripper songs, you know what I'm saying? But you're hitting them over with
I'm
tunes.
listing those in my book. Everyone that I could think about, I was like top 100 like strip club songs.
Yes.
And like the big, huge songs besides like Pour Some Sugar on Me, the obvious like Def Leppard and all those like stripper songs that are classic 80s rock. It was huge when like T-Pain and Lil Jon came out. And I remember some of the clubs I would work at, you'd get those like owners that were like, no hip hop. We don't like that crowd. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean about that? And like, I'm like, I want to work in Atlanta. Like, I want to be like where the strippers are. And so I'd get to like sneak in things or I'd play the R&B joint, but like could get away with it. And every once in a while I'd be like, this is too ratchet. You can't play this. But we didn't even say ratchet back then. It was like ghetto probably. Yeah.
So so this question is going to be so wide range because you have tapped into so many different things in music. And so I'm dying to know the answer to this question. Sure. If you could end every set with one track, what would it be and why?
I would say, and why? I'd say I kind of do this anyways when I actually get to end a night, that it's something, I don't end on like up tempo, like, we're just stopping the party. It's always something like slow and chill. I would say my ending song is either it's not Mad Cobra, but it's a flex, girl flex, time to have sex.
Oh yeah, it's a reggae
flex,
song.
Okay,
yes.
Or Sizzla, Give Me a Try.
Okay,
that one is one of my favorite songs to end with. Or I would say if we're going like, I could play like a super like Mary J, like I'm Going Down or something like that. Something that's like epic and
good.
But I'd say like it's always something in like a 60 to 75 BPM range. It's super chill and it kind of winds it down and it also goes, damn, this is tight.
That was good. Okay. So because you have so many different songs to choose from, we like to ask all of our DJs if they could grace our studio and our podcast with one of their amazing, nasty sets. So would you be down and give it to us?
Of course.
Awesome.
Right now?
Right now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So you've heard the journey. Now feel the sound. This is DJ Ivy live in the mix right here on Soundcheck with Brandon Anthony.
then eat it all up, letting nothing go to waste. Give me head, that's what the fuck I said. Drop it like it hot and work this third leg. Your mouth, don't bite it. Lick my balls and get excited. Don't fight the feeling. You know you want to try. Give me head.
Till you burn it up.
Give me head.
Till you get enough.
Give me head.
Till your love is red.
Give me head.
Have you till your head. Remember when I met you, baby? You were on your way to be wed. You were such a sexy thing. Love the way you walk, the things you said. I was so nonchalant, I didn't want you to be misled. But I got to have you, baby. I got to have you in my bed. You said,
I'm just a virgin and I'm on my way to be wed. But you're such a hunk, so full of sweat. Yeah.
till you burn it up. Head till you get enough. Head
Break.
Wings in the front and our doms in the back. Ain't taking no flicks, but the whole click snap. Just a whole lot of people in the house trying to smoke with the yak in your mouth. Then we back outside. You said you outside, but you ain't that outside. Worldwide hoodie with the mask outside. In case you forgot how we act outside. You won't break my soul.
Break.
You won't break my soul.
Break.
You won't break my soul.
Break.
You won't break my soul.
Break,
I'm
break.
telling everybody, 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 everybody. I just fell in love. I just quit my job. I'm gonna find no drive. Damn, they work me so damn hard. Work by 9, then off past 5. And they work my nerves. That's why I cannot sleep at night. Motivation. I'm looking for a new foundation, yeah. And I'm on that new vibration. I'm building my own foundation, yeah. Hold up, oh baby, you won't break my soul.
Break.
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 Everybody, 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 everybody.
Release your mind, release your job, release the time, release the trade, release the stress, release the love, forget the rest.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Wings in the front and our doms in the back. Ain't taking no
Y'all know
flicks,
I
but the
got
whole
crabs
click
in
snap.
my
Just a
mouth.
whole lot of people in the house trying to smoke with the yak in your mouth.
But my shit.
And we back outside. You said
But
you
my
outside, but
shit
you ain't
ain't
that
crashed,
outside.
you know.
Worldwide hoodie with the mask outside. In case you forgot how we act
Hey,
outside.
y'all motherfuckers having a good time.
I'm found a new foundation, yeah. Trigger my new
Hey, I hope y'all out here enjoying yourselves. I sit up here fucking around. They bought me some liquor up here, so you know I'm drinking. I feel like if I don't look at me, I don't stop the music over here singing this with the shit. You know, I feel like I'm at a barbecue at the crib. I'm stopping the music, talking shit. Hey, y'all know I got a motherfucker from Detroit on the phone right now. Hold on, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Hold on. I got to start this motherfucking record over again. Wait a minute. Fuck that shit. Still on this motherfucking record. Yeah, that's what's happening. want to say right now, God bless Jay Dilla up in this bitch. Mr. James Brown up in this bitch. Wait a minute, fuck that. I said, what's up to Big Proof in this motherfucker tonight? Yeah, that's what's happening. I'm like, fuck that. And you know I'm real quick to be like, fuck that. Cause they can't do nothing but kick me out of here. Hell, I'm trying to get back to Detroit any goddamn way. Hey, look here, I'm gonna play some new from y'all from Detroit. Oh, they must have left. They like, fuck it, okay. Go on, take the picture back. What's happening? Y'all all right? Well, let's see. They told me I ain't supposed to play no more records. But they don't know me like you know. Yeah, that's what's happening. Hey, y'all motherfuckers having a good time. Oh, man, that's what's happening. Hey, I hope y'all out here enjoying yourselves. I'm just up here fucking around.
To the left of me, like we ain't in these streets more than sesame. But that shit chicken, why she texting me? Why she keep calling my phone, speaking sexually? Every time I'm out, why she stressing me? You call her Stephanie, I call her Heffany. I don't open doors for her. I just want the neck, nothing more. Shorty make it clap, make it applause. When you tired of your man, give me a call. Like bitches talking out they jaws. Next minute calling for the law. It's 9 to have them calling for the law. They ain't getting money, so they bored. I can never lose, what you thought? And they got it all locked, man, of course. They say I got the juice, I got the sauce. These haters on my body, shake them off.
It's time for the percolator. 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 Percolator.
Voguing.